Hey guys, what is up? Fluffy Ninja from Warp Crew Paintball and Warp Sports Chicagoland here with another weekend loadout. Done something somewhat similar to this in the past, I think, but I don't think I've done it with the CVO per se. So as of right now, for me at least, money is tight, and I'm sure for a lot of people, money is tight anyway. Going to paintball events, I'm sure you guys set money aside. But if you get the chance to play, it's like fuck. You're a case a day player. Let's throw a fucking number out there. $70 for a case. At some places, 60 to be safe. So if you're going to a big game, that's fucking $120 just for paint, and then like your entry, which who the fuck knows, what event. So yeah, it's fucking paint and stuff like that really gets taken into consideration. I know a lot of people like to play pump. I sold my pumps off just because bills. It sucks being an adult, that is for sure. But so pumps are a really good option, especially if you're trying to conserve paint. So like if you're going to Legends or whatever, some kind of big 2-day event like that where it's just constant grind, and it's like, well, I have enough money for maybe 2 cases because I pre-ordered in advance. I don't really have money for paint at the event, which is the case for a lot of people. So going with a pump gun is super, super nice. But this is my option. This is, of course, my CVO with just the stock Freak XL barrel on it. My Contract Killer wooden grips, absolutely love these things. And then I've got my super, super, super old Gorilla Air 13 cubic inch 3000 tank. The reg on this thing is super uncomfortable because it stabs me right in the wrist, but whatever. But yeah, this is a neat little kind of plinker setup. Honestly, if I was running this thing, I'd probably rock it more like that, more like the old rock and cock style fucking pump guns. But that's just so I can actually get my mask behind it and kind of look at what the fuck I'm shooting at. So this is again my CVO 13 cubic inch, and then the Empire. I want to say it's a 15 round stick because I don't think it's a 10. I think it's a little bit more than 10. It might be 10. I don't know. It's like 10 or 11 for sure. But yeah, this is something that, if I'm going to go out to a big game this year, which as of right now, I'm not 100% sure. But this is something that's like, I can buy like a bag of paint and play with this probably for the entire weekend and not run out of paint. So that's super, super nice. Or, if walk on is, not as heavy as most places, it's something I can pull out instead of throwing my rotor or my Spire on here. I can just run out with this, and just like, I'm sure some kids will be like, "Oh, wow, it's super cool." It's really just how much you want to challenge yourself when you're playing paintball. That is for sure. Like, my kind of roller coaster of paintball was starting out with the big ass heavy BT Delta gun, and going from there, putting the electronics on it so I could keep up a little bit more with speedballers. And I was like, okay, this thing's way too fucking heavy. Mini X, like that area. I had a Mini first, and then eventually I went to the X. Then I started playing tournaments with the Mini, and I was like, man. And then they figured out that those weren't tournament legal, which was weird. So then I bought an X. X was fine, used that for a lot of my tournament career. And then, like, after I got done playing, I played about 6 years of tournament paintball. I didn't really get to play in a lot of tournaments because, I'm a bigger guy. Basically my tournament career was getting the shit kicked out of me at practice by pro teams, semi-pro teams, D2 teams, and finally, like, I got to the level where I am comparable to a D3 player, or I was. I mean, I haven't played fucking speedball in forever, so I'm probably like fucking D7. But after I got done in the tournament speedball scene, I started playing more Woods Bowl and more scenario games again, and I was like, wow, this is super fun. But shooting an axe, I was like, fuck, I'm burning through paint. So I went to like a mechanical gun. I don't even remember. It was probably like a fucking Piranha, just because it was, eventually I got autocockers and stuff like that. But I was like, okay, well, that was fun. Next challenge. Started playing Pump. And I was like, okay, next challenge. And that's when pistols happened. That's when I met Antonio, and, started my YouTube career. Really was that. But it was really about always like gearing down to kind of challenge myself and get better as a player. There were times that I was out at CPX with my pistols and I would just get destroyed by the tournament guys that had left practice and came to, shoot the rest of their paint just during open play. And, I'd get half a hopper dumped on me as I'm, running to my spot to be sneaky with my pistols. So it's really about gearing down and, like, in this case, saving money to actually play. So this is something that I might actually rock here and there, just to, if I could get the little, like, 3D printed rotor, I would absolutely use that. I had the Inception Design loader. I didn't really like it. Sold it to a teammate. I think he's used it since then. I'm actually not sure, but he's like, I just like the look of it. I think my internal still worked. I think there was just something wrong with the battery that I kept using. Like, I would always use a battery that was almost dead. So that's why it I don't know, it just didn't work for me. Especially when I had it on my dam, it just didn't shoot right. But if I could get like one of those mini rotors, I'd be super happy with that. But yeah, so that is this weekend's loadout, and just kind of a little ramble on why you would want to play like this. If you're interested in more of a video like that of why would you play mechanical over guys that are shooting speedball guns, why would you play Pump over people that are going in with just the regular gear, why would you go in with just a hopper, play hopper ball, or go in with just a hopper and a pod, or like stuff like that. Like Jackson, who is Virgil's son, the owner of Blast Camp, I played with him for the longest time, and he would go out with 4 pods and a hopper, and I was like, fuck, dude. Like, I mean, and we're kind of like, well, I guess yeah, your dad owns a paintball field, you can do whatever you want, and like that, I think, kind of got to him. And I was always like, hey man, don't worry about people that say that. It's whatever, it's not a huge deal. And he was like, well, he's like, my dad gets kind of pissed when I shoot that much paint. And I was like, yeah, probably. So him and his dad worked out a deal for, like, he was only allowed so much paint for open play, like for practice with the Blast Camp Revolution, like, go fucking nuts. But for open play, I think like he's gotten it down to where he only takes out a hopper and maybe a pod sometimes. Like I've watched him develop into the player that he is, and I like, oh my god, he's one of the best players I've ever seen. Nathan Albahosen and Cody Albahosen are probably top tier. I see the 3 of them going pro within the next 5 years. Just that is how good they are. I know Nathan had offers from Aftershock before they eventually, folded, but he was like, he's like, no, I'm not ready, and he's like, plus, so, but yeah, I absolutely see the 3 of them being able, or given the opportunity to go pro very soon, because they are a very good team. I think they're playing D2 this year? D2 or D3? No, yeah, they're playing D2. So yeah, just the gearing down, especially for open play. If you are one of the speedball guys, if you are one of the guys that goes and practices every weekend, and then after practice you're like, well, I still got paint to shoot, might as well just go out and shoot it at rentals. It's like, no, you could go out with a pump gun. The KPs, while they're not great pump guns, they're decent for the price. So you can go out with one of those. You could buy a used sniper, or just fucking set your gun to 5 balls a second. I mean, that's what I did for the longest time. When I really got into mechanical paintball, I was like, fuck, that would be so cool. So I started playing, with my G-Tech at 5 balls a second. I was like, yeah, this is fine. So, it's just one of those things like, to make yourself a better player, put yourself in situations or make your gear perform less than ideal, I guess. So, yeah, again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys for subscribing if you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, please hit that button. That's super awesome. I think we're almost to 600 subscribers. That would be super cool. I'd like to maybe do a giveaway for that if I have the opportunity. But yeah, so thank you guys very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.